ChatGPT Pro is awesome. So I've been putting off this task because it is so complicated. I kind of cornered myself into a really tricky situation with Git and my app, and I needed a path forward, and ChatGPT Pro was the solution. So let me dive into what I did. So I've got ChatGPT 5.2 Pro here, and this has been a phenomenal thing. I gave it a bunch of context. I gave it 2 files. I am working on a spider app, so if you're scared of spiders, sorry, I'm going to be showing some spider photos. So this is the old UI that my app used to have, and it was functional. And I have a photo mode and I have a video mode where I can step frame by frame. But and then I've got a model loading thing. The problem is the there were so many problems with this original implementation. And this is where you can't always trust like fallback logic that models, even Codex and like Claude Code will have fallback logic that is stuff that you do not want. So that plagued a lot of the reliability issues I was having with the app. And so I ended up making a new branch where I was like, okay, let's just refactor everything, cut out the old stuff. I still wanted the old UI, but I wanted to move to the new UI. And that's where I ran into problems because like Codex is like, I can't do this. I can't do this refactor. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, just do it. Just try harder. And it refused to do it. So then I was like, okay, just cut out everything. Let's start fresh, and start over with the new UI that we had sort of prototyped out. The problem with that is I lost a lot of the implicit behaviors that we had worked on together for file loading and just general app behavior. And I wanted to get some of that stuff back. Like I really liked this scroll bar. I really liked being able to open a folder, open a single file. Like there was just a lot of stuff here that I had spent a lot of time going back and forth and updating. So I gave it a bunch of context, and what I have here is a tool. I guess I'll show it in Finder. I have a project. I haven't posted this anywhere, I don't think, but I have a script called copy folder, and it just goes ahead and copies everything into one markdown. Now, this is probably not the best thing. Maybe doing a zip might be better. I didn't try that route yet. It copies everything that's not in my git ignore, and it turns it into one markdown file that I can share. So then these are like 2 big files, and we can see those in the file system here. I've got the old UI branch, and then I've got the new UI branch. You can see this one's 2 megabytes, this one's 1.6. So it's not crazy huge, but like there's still a lot of text in it. If I open it up in TextMate, you can sort of see what it's got in here. This is a lot of the code, the file structure, and then it's just all of the code so that it has some context. I don't think this is the best way to share stuff, but I know there's stuff like repo prompt that does stuff like this. So I provided that context, and I was like, I need to figure out how to merge this because I want the old UI with the new UI. Well, it spit out a plan after thinking for, how long did it think? Is this going to work? It's not showing me. It thought, I think, for 89 minutes. I was like, holy cow. I put it on extended thinking. I did that after I started the request. I don't know if that actually respected that or whatnot, but eventually it ran out of tool calls and it's like, I have to finish. And so it like ended a little bit early, according to its notes. So super helpful. I took this, I copied it over, and I brought it over to Codex. I didn't even start a new Codex session because compaction has been really good, and I had been working on some previous tasks. I don't even know what I worked on last. It's been a while. I've been putting this off. And so I just gave it here, and it just grinded on it for a while and eventually integrated it. And then the models weren't loading. So let me show you what it looks like now. The models weren't loading, but then I asked it to fix it, and now it is fixed. So this one works. This one wasn't working. And then this one works. I don't know if I have a screenshot of what it looked like. I have so many things on my desktop. I might have just dragged it over. Oh, that's the original implementation. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Right now, the crop logic is stub, so like that's not real. I think it's just the same location. Yeah, it's just grabbing the same location. It's just if I find the right spider, it looks like it's actually working, but it's totally not working. So these two are the two interfaces that I wanted to integrate. I like this picture-in-picture viewer. I like the controls that I had here. I wanted to get that back and functional. So we added that. And then here, I really like the import photos or folders. So like this is yellow sac spiders, but I can easily switch this over. Let's go to Black Widows of North America. Open that up. Actually, it's going to append these, and that's not ideal. Let's just clear that. Let's try this again. Open. And now it's going to just load up all of these Black Widow spiders. And again, the crop rectangle is just stubbed right now. If you ever see a Black Widow near an egg sac, do not try and manhandle that because, or just don't handle it because it is more likely to bite you. Yeah. So that's the stub version. Here's the working version. So this one's working on just frame grabs. So it's essentially frame grab screenshots from the thing. I can step through it. It is a video, but it's not a video player. And this also has a nice feature where I can test the crop. And the problem is I didn't want to throw this away to try to integrate back into this flow. And I probably still need to add some logic. Like it looks like it's reloading the stuff, but it's good enough to start. So it's really powerful. I really like Codex. And so now I want to integrate the new pipeline. You can just talk to Codex. So I'm saying, what's our list of tasks to integrate the new crop logic? Please plan the task, then execute it. Right? So that's all I'm going to say. You don't have to overprompt this stuff. And I expect it to come back with something that we can use. I'm going to go ahead and push this so I have a reference point of when we last had something working. And that's like, I could merge this, but I want to get this a little bit further along. And I think like this is off to a really good start. I don't know why it still behaves a little bit weird, but like these are all things that you can just sort of figure out and fix. So I really like that aspect. This was so when I had it redo the UI, this was what it gave me, and I was just like such a letdown from the previous UI. And then this was kind of a letdown. But like what I really needed to know what this full list was because I was having issues where the classifier just didn't seem like it was using the right one. I'm using create ML. I don't know if this will work. It like create ML like corrupted my files. I don't know if I can show this. Okay, so this one's still working. So this is a new classifier that I trained, and I was testing out accuracy of two different. Oh, this is doing some crops. I totally forget what I was doing. This was over the holiday, and I need to get back into it. We did a little experiment to see like what would boost accuracy. So I'm just like A/B testing different training sets. And so what these allow is like if I go into one of these, I can do preview and I can drop in add files. Oh yeah, so here I was playing around with, okay, what type of spider is this? And depending on how you crop things, different things are going to come up. So here it says it's an Arrhenius. This is an Arrhenius. You can see it's a cross orb weaver because of this cross here. And so I was testing different rotations, like just rotating it can change what it detects. You need to have enough of the body, like too zoomed in is a problem. So I've got logic now that's like measuring the body size. And so that's what this 185 is. So instead of filling the full frame, it's now doing like 185 for the body size. This is 304 for the body size. And the size for like the model is 360 by 360. So it's like filling out what it determines to be the body in the available image. And so this is ultimately like the same size that the model sees. And so you have to play around with your data when you're doing machine learning to make sure that it's fitting. The problem that my model has is it could be that lots of grass spiders are filmed against white backgrounds, or I just don't have enough in my training set for orb weavers. And this is a male, its body is in the shadows, so it's not as vibrant. It is chasing a female. This is a video frame as I was chasing around these spiders. You can actually see he's got 7 legs, not 8. He's still a spider, but his leg was on the ground because he either battled with one of the other males or had a rough encounter with the female spider that was nearby. So that's pretty cool. Just being able to like integrate stuff. So I just had to integrate my model picker. So now I should be able to switch my model out somewhere. Here's the button. And my species classifier is the 17.2. Okay, and I need to select a new model. I don't even know if I've exported any of these models. It's been a while. Do I have models here? So I don't have more models there. I don't think I've exported any. So what we could do, just for fun, is I could take, I don't know what the best performer was. And this naming is confusing. I thought that this one would do better, but when we looked at the evaluation, oh, I've got to make sure I'm comparing the same. This is the confusing part. These are all on different, hold on, let me just fix this. I'm going to pick one of these. That's a 71%, 70%, 70%, 71%, 71%. So which one had the least number of incorrect? This one. Okay, so we'll try and export this model. I have a couple different test sets. So this is my base test set. This is clean photos. This is including bad photos where it's super blurry and washed out. So we'll try this one. I'll go to output and I'm going to do get, and I hope it will give it that same name. And we're going to go to my spider identifier. Where did we put it? Oh, it's not there. It's quality app models. Okay, we'll just save it there. Okay. And now if we go back to the app, you can see that new model. We'll try and load it up and see if this behaves any different. So 61% orb weaver, but it's still going to woodloose. So that is the challenge that I have. This is where I need more training data and potentially the lighting is bad. I'm not sure. But we can see sometimes it thinks it's a orb weaver and then other times it thinks it's like a false widow. And it all comes down to as you export this crop, this preview is really tiny, but it's only a 360 by 360 crop that we're going to send to the model. And the legs get less detailed. We lose the hairs and stuff like that. And so we're going to see it's going to change what it thinks it is. But just by moving around, like it's fascinating and disturbing that it is so sensitive to that. So that's where I need to add more robustness to this model with more training data. The fact that I can get like 70% on the crab spider is a little concerning. That to me almost feels like it's cropping the body and it's not using the image that I see here. Like if we go over here, it thinks it's a cellar spider because it can't see anything. And this model only knows about spiders. So there's no like fallback or escape hatch. So if I give it a random image, it's going to tell me what it matches the most. I have to really tighten this up. See here, we can see like 65% orb weaver, 70% orb weaver, like right around this region. That's where it's like, yeah, that's an orb weaver. And if we switch models, does it change? Like, is this any different? It got worse with the new stuff. Interesting. So here it says it's 79% orb weaver. And then when I switched models, it says it's 65. So my crop logic made it worse. Interesting. This is tricky. I might just need to train on more spiders. Like maybe this problem goes away with a bigger data set. I don't know, but this is Codex. It is still cranking on some stuff. I think I'm on high. And this is a challenging thing where it needs to integrate. So I'm hoping that it can get it to work. But only time will tell. And I'm excited that I finally have this progress because this allows me to leverage all of these different UI experiments that I'm playing with, especially this like ability to recrop and then test out stuff. Now the ability to choose different models, super, super useful. So if you're building tools, like Codex is great for prototyping, great for having an idea and just implementing it. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.